everyone, I am Suzanne Hacker, your vacation rental business coach with Welcoming Wow, and I am here today with Aaron. And Aaron has a company called WeHost, and we are going to get to hear all about it, but a little bit of an introduction, and he'll get to tell you about that, a little about yourself and your company. I would appreciate it.
I would love to. Thank you so much, Susan, for having me here. It's an absolute pleasure to be here in front of you and all your guests. My name, like I said, Aaron Hernandez, and I'm the owner and founder of WeHost, the Better B&B, as a community that's dedicated towards lower fees, greater exposure, and white glove customer service that's available 24/7. And let me tell you a little bit about my background and how I got here to begin WeHost, because it's been a process. It's been 3 years in the making, and we're getting ready to get the official launch underway after a lot of quality control, a lot of development, and we're very excited to get this thing moving forward with some good momentum. Originally, I started off as a software security engineer, working up in Washington, D.C. after 9/11. And I was contracted by British Aerospace and Department of Defense to design a system called ELMA, Electronic License Management Administration System, that basically processed all munitions that were being sold outside of the United States through private defense companies. So it was mandated by the president at the time. We had 6 months to build a system, and I pioneered it. That's how I got started. Well, I was working there at British Aerospace, where I got started investing in real estate. So I took some of my proceeds from there, and unfortunately I had a fire at the house where I lost everything, and I was put in a situation where I had to buy real estate in order to be able to have a roof underneath my head. And it actually turned out to be the best thing in my life, that fire, because it really threw me out of my comfort zone and put me in a situation where I had to make a decision to buy a house. And I had no idea what I was doing. I felt like, I knew software, I knew security, I didn't know real estate at all. So I bought my first house, and it was right after 9/11. Everybody was moving. Nobody else in the country had jobs. Everybody was moving to DC because of finance and military and the federal government. A lot of jobs there. So what I found is that my property began to go up in value as I was getting ready to buy it. And I could actually put it in the Washington Post, and I started a bidding war, and I figured out what a bidding war was in my first home. And I put it out there for almost twice what I had bought it for, I was buying it for. And not only did I get twice what I was buying it for, they were bidding it up. So I said, well, maybe there's something to this. I mean, it doesn't take a mathematician to figure this out. If I'm making $100,000 on one property, what if I do this 10 times? I just broke $1 million, right? So that's exactly what I did. As I'm working, still finishing my contract with the Department of Defense, I bought 7 more properties that year. And then at the end of the year, 1 year to the date that I had to fire, I broke the $1 million and started my investment company.
Well, congratulations. What a great story. Thank you for sharing that. Good for you. I love hearing about success stories like that.
I always say it's not the situation. With true definition of success is how you take a negative situation and convert it to something that's positive and beneficial, not only for yourself, for your whole community.
Awesome. So then tell me a little bit about why you started WeHost. What was your purpose or your reason behind it?
Let me tell you a little bit about how we got started doing the STRs and Airbnbs and VRBOs. And we had, I started an investment company in 2015 with 2 partners. We raised a lot of capital, but we didn't have a lot of inventory because the inventory was very light. We finally got our hands on a handful of properties that were very nice properties. The problem we had is they're sitting there vacant while we're getting permits, while we're getting permissions to build. So, and I'm thinking to myself, we have probably 4 million sitting there in real estate, and it's not doing anything. Let's put this on the short-term vacation rental platforms and see how they do. And when I tell you, it went crazy. It went crazy. It just blew up. It's like, man, we didn't have enough. You couldn't go to the bathroom without making $10,000 on a rental. It was really,
awesome.
really, it was a lot of fun. It grew very, very quickly. So we decided let's open up a division of the company specifically towards the short-term vacation rental properties, using our own properties and just furnish them, getting them perfect, put them on Airbnb, VRBO, and we were making a killing. We were doing great up until COVID, of course. So then COVID kind of slowed everything down. But one of the problems that we were having is we saw that there was a certain need in that market. There was a niche there. The VRBO, I mean, they had a good handle on it, better than Airbnb, but Airbnb was lagging in a lot of areas. First of all, they're too expensive, is what we thought. We weren't getting a lot of exposure for our properties. So we called them about it a couple times, and we never really got follow-up. So I said, God, between the lower fees, because they don't need to be making that much money and still be doing very well. The greater exposure, and I have an algorithm that I've been designing for 3.5 years that helps you identify which property the buyer is going to be the most interested in, and is going to put them in front of that property, and it's going to give that property that kind of exposure. Okay. So we've been designing this for a couple of years now. The last thing is we want white glove customer service. I want to pick up the phone and I want to speak to the live person. I want to be able to say, listen, this is my problem. This is my tech support. So we did a 24/7 concierge service with both technical support and customer support that will answer any questions, as well as offer concierge. So, hey, I want a bottle of champagne and strawberry sent to the room, or have it waiting there. Can you coordinate this for me? And of course, for some things, there's going to be a fee. For other things, we may just have it waiting there for you, but you have access to that. And it's a live person that you can call and picks up that phone 24/7. And that's so we birthed WeHost. And WeHost was set up as the better B&B. We want to have that kind of service. We want to be able to offer the lower fees, and we want to give you that exposure with a more secure platform. My big thing is software security, and make sure that thing is fast, it's efficient, and I think we're there. I think we're very excited to get it. Yeah, we're getting a very good response so far, a very good following. So we're excited about WeHost and where it's going here in the very near future.
And when approximately will somebody be able to list their vacation rental on WeHost?
They will be able to list as soon as, according to the developer, April the 5th will be the predecessor to the official launch that's set up for Cinco de Mayo. So we're doing Cinco de Mayo, we're doing an official launch, we're doing a backup for Memorial Day weekend down here at some of the local hotels and venues. But you will be able to start registering and putting the properties in as soon as April the 5th. And then we have a 30-day window just to test how much, because we're going to get a lot of volume in that first month. So I just want to make sure that we have everything nice and tight, and we're not getting too much of an overflow that people are crashing the site. So I'll be testing for a couple of weeks in the live version before we do the official launch on Cinco de Mayo.
So now, will people be able to list their property on WeHost in addition to Airbnb and VRBO and others?
Absolutely. You can list them on each one, and we even offer property management. One of the things that Airbnb doesn't offer. Evolve is a good competitor of ours. Sure. That has put together a good program for the property management, and we'll be offering that as well at discounted prices, at a discount percentage equal or comparable to the Evolve and their platform. Not only will you be able to list with Airbnb and the others, we have a data entry person that will upload your properties for you. So you don't sit there. I know it takes, especially people that have 16, 17 properties, you have to upload. Sure. No, pick up the phone and say, this is my information. This is the data that you're going to be taking. Can you do this for me? And so it's dedicated 24/7 to uploading the information for your properties up into the site, tweaking them, maybe change the descriptions or the titles, etc. And in the future, one of the things that we want to offer that we haven't officially released yet is that we want to offer a channel manager, so you can go into the back-end portion of WeHost, and then you can see all your reservations on one page, and you're not double booking. It makes it really convenient. So that's one of the things we won't offer it in the beginning, but probably before the end of the year we will have that in place.
That's wonderful. So are there other companies? I mean, there kind of are. So compare a little bit with how are, other than 24/7 concierge, white glove, what other ways are you better than, let's just say, VRBO?
Okay, VRBO, see, the problem with VRBO is that VRBO has overlooked a certain portion of the market. That's a significant portion of the market. Now, they focus strictly on entire homes. Entire homes are a nice thing. We offer entire homes with the security, with everything that VRBO does. But there's a whole other market out there. I have my insurance agent last week had a fire. So he had to run to a place, for a week while he looked for a new property. He can't go to a VRBO or he could, but I mean, it was more convenient for the time to get an Airbnb that he was able to get a house in the back while he took care of his problems, and VRBO doesn't offer that. We want to be able to offer both, like Airbnb, kind of nip those potential problems in the bud. So I have a security system that I'm integrating. That's a third-party security system that does background checks on the individuals. So one of my biggest problems, and I hate to say this with the Airbnb, is I had my home, and I had a $2 million home, a $3 million home at one time. They were destroyed. They were like, I came home on a Saturday afternoon, and after a $350,000 renovation, these guys were hanging on the chandeliers. And it was every corner of that house was completely destroyed. And I just don't want anyone going through that. It's the worst feeling. I felt like my heart got taken out of my chest. It's the worst feeling in the world when you come in and there's complete negligence on everything that's so personal to you and everything's destroyed. It's such a bad feeling. So one of the things that I don't know if you've ever been through it, but God bless you if you have. It's really, really terrible. I went through it 3 times.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, in the worst of ways. I mean, I can't even on camera. I can't say what some of the things that we went through, because they were like.
We'll discuss that off camera. Not that it's something you ever wanted to consider. So what is the best way? So let's say there's a vacation rental owner out there who really wants to make sure they put their property with WeHost. What's the best way for them to find you after April 5th?
After April 5th, www.wehosttravel.com. That's the best way. Okay. Wehosttravel.com.
Okay.
And I'm offering to all your viewers today, if they like a $200 gift card when they sign up on April the 5th, if they come on and they sign up, I'll make sure to personally mail them a $200 gift card for WeHost that they could use in redemption to any travel, any vacation that they may have.
Love it. Awesome. So you have owned how many vacation rental homes yourself in your life?
I have owned right now, I'd say 13 right now. I've owned probably closer to 20, 22 total in the past. I mean, I lost a couple of them with Hurricane Irma. And that was really difficult because we went from, those properties, the 90% occupancy, and literally they were underwater for 2 weeks, after the hurricane hit. So I lost a couple there, but I've maintained these, and I do very well with them. It's just there's certain things I still see the market needs. It's a great market. Let's take advantage of it while we can. Let's make it better. Let's make it more secure. If we know that we can prevent this, let's prevent this from the beginning if we can.
So with your experience then owning vacation rentals yourself, what would be the best 2 pieces of advice you would give someone who's thinking about getting into this business?
Number 1, don't give up. Don't give up. You'll be so glad you didn't give up, because it does pay off. And it's just, you're going to have the hurdles in the beginning. Everybody does. And what's going to make you successful is how you deal with those hurdles and how you turn around to something that's positive. So go and you have a terrible experience with your first one, make the second one better. We came back and we had, on the second one, everything was not only perfect in that house again after they completely destroyed it, but we had a bottle of wine, we had a nice little gift basket waiting for the next person. Just say, hey, listen, we're gonna take it in the chin, we're gonna give it right back to you just as strong. And it's gonna be absolutely perfect. So don't give up is number 1. If you haven't taken a step to go ahead and do it, take the initiative and get your first one underneath your belt. Because that's the most difficult thing, is getting that first one done. You always come up with 1,000 excuses why not to do it. For example, when I was working as a software security engineer, I never bought a house. And I never had a reason to buy a house until I had a fire. And it was when I threw me out of that car, and then I made my first $100,000, and broke my first $1 million because of that first house. So you never know what that could lead to. Never back down from a potential investment opportunity that could be a good investment opportunity because you're scared. Take that initiative and take that step and do it.
So is there anything that I didn't ask you yet today that you're just dying to share with people about either yourself or your business, about vacation rental ownership or management?
I've shown how excited I am about it, because it really changed my life. I would have never thought to go on. That became that division of the company. We're doing investments, we're doing wholesaling, we're doing fix and flips, we're doing Section 8 rentals. That section became the most profitable section of the whole company. So it's an industry right now that's growing very aggressively. It's going to continue to grow, and it's not slowing down anytime soon. People are out there and they're saying, obviously they have their issues, that we've had in the past, and hopefully, as we become a leader in that market again, we address those issues very professionally. And that's one of my goals, is to work together with the municipalities and the governments in order to be able to come up with solutions that make sense for the homeowners, that protect them, and keep the neighbors happy as well. That's one of the big things that we've had. So is neighbors complaining. But if you do it properly, I think from the beginning and professionally, tend to avoid a lot of the problems. That's one thing that our competitor didn't do very well in the beginning.
I had a recent conversation even about that. Somebody who's, kind of thinking about getting into the vacation rental business space. And they're like, okay, but what about neighbors? And because from their perspective, they could see, a neighbor's perspective just because they're not an owner yet of a vacation rental. And I said, to me, it really depends on how it's handled by the owner. Talking about it with them, you introduce yourself. If you handle your rental well, if you check your guests if you can, which we all can if we, use the right software and stuff too. And if that's going to be integrated in yours, it's fabulous. There's making sure there aren't parties, making sure, there's not that huge noise and that your guests aren't a nuisance in the neighborhood. Because obviously, it's a big start. And part of it also depends on the, maybe the professional level of the owner themselves too. But I think there's a lot of things that can be done so that we don't start to have problems with the municipalities and stuff, because, it's the neighbors that are complaining and going to the cities that ends up, prompting them to start doing something, in my opinion.
You're 100% right. And we've been through it as well. And sometimes we have good neighbors. Other neighbors may not be so cooperative. We try, even with the good ones, whether they're good or the uncooperative ones, we're backing you. We understand it's your house. You want peace there. I get it. So we're doing our screening in the back. And then we're taking the extra step to make sure that we don't have anything like these, people come in and destroy the houses with the WeHost properties.
Unfortunately, sometimes there's nothing you can do to 100% know for sure that that's not going to happen. But sometimes even just having a local manager is, the key. They're just down the street.
We do plan on having regional marketing directors in each state as we expand. Hopefully before the end of the year, we're targeting the key metropolitan areas first, and then we're going to expand to each state. But that'll give you at least someone there that you can talk to. Funny story. I'll be really quick. I got a call at 7:00 in the morning while I was in Disney World buying, and it was one of the properties I was managing for one of my investors, forensic doctor for the judicial system in Broward County. Anyway, her house was surrounded at 7:00 in the morning by 7 police cars. And she's on the phone. What are you going to do about this? You got to get here right now. And I'm in Disney World with my family, buying another property. I can't do anything. Luckily, we were able to, one guy got arrested, the other guy, luckily I was able to get somebody down there that happened to be my administrative assistant, and she was able to get down there in enough time to be able to file a police report and get everything, take pictures and for the insurance. And, we were good in being able to get that smoothly as it could have possibly been, and as graciously as it could have possibly been, without losing the management contract that we had with her. It was a good area. It was a $5 million property, but they went to town on it. So it's a part of when I brought WeHost together, I made sure that these are things that we take care of, because they've really impacted. And not only that, they impact your business because you take a hit. During that time, the house is down, you're renovating. It's very costly. And for a small business, they can't take those kind of hits consistently. Maybe you take one here, you can't do it over and over again. So you have to be very careful.
That's a good point. Thank you. So any last words of wisdom for people in this industry that you want to make sure you share?
Be patient. Make sure you understand that your guests. I'm not talking about the bad guests. I'm talking about your guests come first. This is a business that's a service. So you're here to provide a service, and the better service you can provide, the more rentals you're going to get. We'll promise you that. The better that you become at becoming a host, and the higher you come and you get in the rankings of SuperHost, etc., the better your business does. So be very professional and treat your guests as if they were the number one person on your list.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you. All right. Well, y'all heard it here first. We got Aaron here with WeHost, which is going live very soon. So make sure you look it up with WeHostTravel.com. Right. Great. Thank you so much for joining us today. I appreciate it.
God bless you. Thank you so much for having me here. And remember, anyone that wants to sign up, just let me know, and I'll personally mail you the $200 gift card so you can travel with a nice little discount right from the get-go.
Awesome. I love it. Thank you.